Hi, this is Kamala Murphy, and you're listening to the Heart and Chutzpah podcast, where we talk about giving ourselves permission or having the chutzpah to just claim a right to live really juicy, luscious lives. With our big hearts, we're going to face love and loss, heartache and healing. We'll fall down and rise up again, and through it all, we'll develop our heart and our chutzpah, and we'll find our way to our own unique, luscious, and amazing life. Thank you for joining me. Enjoy this episode. Hi, this is Kamala Murphy. Welcome to this episode of the Heart and Chutzpah podcast. Thank you for listening in. I remember vividly a time when I was 12 or 13 years old, and I was walking through the grocery store with my grandmother, who is this really beautiful Irish lady with white hair, bright blue eyes, pink in her cheeks. And as we were walking through the grocery store, over the sound system, they started to play one of the really popular Beatles songs, one of the songs that probably everyone knew the words to. And to my absolute horror, my grandmother started to sing along. And I was mortified. Oh my God, what's she doing? I wanted to just disappear, get out of the way, not let anyone know that I was with this woman who's singing. And I realized that part of the shame around that, aside from being a 12 or 13-year-old who's just horrified by her parents or grandparents, a lot of this had to do with my upbringing in our nuclear family home. My father often criticized my grandmother, saying she was too much, too loud. She wasn't being a lady. Now, my grandmother was not too loud or too obnoxious, but I really did take in that the message that actually, it was his message. I want you to be a lady. I want you to be proper, a proper, prim and proper lady, not like your grandmother. And I took that message to heart. But as I grew up, and actually, it took me quite some time to really realize this in sort of my middle age, that my father was so wrong about this. My grandmother was someone who gave herself permission to live life fully, enjoy life, and to just really feel like she could express herself and not care too much what other people thought, even my father. As I've aged and matured and realized how wrong my father was about this, it really turns out I'm a lot like my grandmother. Some days I just want to bubble up with enthusiasm and just sort of explode with joy and appreciation for everything. I get a little giddy about life sometimes. But then there are those days where I get into my fear, all that old training, and it just won't let those bubbles happen. After all, I want to be a lady. I want to be taken seriously. I want to be seen as a professional. And I get all tangled up in my fears about what other people think. Does that ever happen to you, where you feel like you want to express yourself because it would feel so good, but you stop yourself because you're concerned about other people's opinions and what they might say or what they might do? Ugh, you can just feel, how heavy is that? Ugh. And a few years ago, I was talking with a friend about wanting to talk a lot more about joy and delight and sparkle, about the things that truly light people up, where you can see the real joy just emanating from them. But although I wanted to do that, I wanted to talk about that, I would stop myself because I was so concerned about not being taken seriously. And he stopped me and he said, wait, why wouldn't you talk about things that light you up, things that you're clearly passionate about? Why would you stop talking about things that have you feel more connected to God, to love? He said, Kamala, you're not talking about frivolous delight. You're talking about serious delight. And he was right. Serious delight is not just something that puts a smile on your face. It is a light that's inside of you that floods your whole being. And it's a way for us to know just how deeply connected we are to the divine. Delight is being of the light. And what could be better than that? A lot of the times, we humans just get so caught up in the worldly things that we just don't really pay enough attention to what's going on in our bodies. And so have lost touch with what does light us up, what even feels really good. Is this something that delights me or not? We no longer pay enough attention to really experience the sense of deep or serious delight. So what I'd like to invite you to do today is just begin to pay attention. See what you do notice. See if there are things that light you up, where you can feel. Maybe it starts as just a little tingle, but with practice, it gets bigger and bigger, and you recognize it more and more frequently. So yeah, I'm going to encourage you to just pay attention to your body, find the things that do spark a little joy for you. Thank you, Marie Kondo, because often they're the really simple things, a hummingbird flitting by, or dew on the morning grass, and a loved one, a child's laughter, a crystal vase that just like, ooh, that's beautiful. Things of beauty, things that you can appreciate. Maybe serious delight is just a deepening of real appreciation, really gratefulness, that connection with the divine. I'd like to share with you a quote that I found by Jiddu Krishnamurti. The moment you have in your heart this extraordinary thing called love, and feel the depth, the delight, the ecstasy of it, you will discover that for you, the world is transformed. And I think that's so true. I know when I feel that deep love, I can feel the tingle start. And maybe that's the delight too. Another way to recognize the delight is the tingling that you might feel. So my wish for you today and this week is that you experience a sense of serious delight. And if you would, let me know about it. I love hearing about delight. I feel like the more we become aware of it for ourselves, the more we can let it build, the more we can let it out into the world and bring more delight into this world that so sorely needs it. So that's it for now. Thank you so much. Until next time, bye for now. So there you have it, a little heart and chutzpah for the day. Today, give yourself a little permission to be both big-hearted and a little feisty, just like you were created to be. Thank you for joining me. I hope you'll reach out to me via social media at Kamala Murphy, and it's Murphy with an EY, or at my website, kamalamurphy.com. Again, thank you for joining me. Many blessings. Until next time. Bye for now.